Peace, everybody. Somebody said, Berean, y'all got baptism. Y'all being believers, y'all got baptism from the Egyptians. I say that I'm not. I often tell people I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer. I don't consider myself a scholar because scholarship has to do with certain professional methodologies and how you your methods. How you have to know how to study, know how to gather information. You have to be involved. To me, scholarship, you have to be involved with journals, articles, books. Things cost money. If scholarship costs money and education costs money, many of us that I'm speaking to right now owe tens of thousands in student loans because y'all were going down the road of scholarship attempting to even get an undergrad, to get a degree, and that costs money. Education, books, and true scholarship costs money. I think too many people throw that around easily. And with that, I'm gonna try to explain this thing about the baptism. When we're dealing with baptism, I often tell people if you're going to be a researcher of scripture, you need to be like a detective. The spirit is the most important thing, being led by the spirit of the Ruach of the Most High God. But there's still certain ways that detectives, that we as researchers need to operate. Detectives tell anybody if there's a crime scene, they say you have to look for the in-laws before you go looking for the outlaws. What do they mean by that? You have to begin at ground zero. If they walked in the house, if there was a 911 call and a woman was dead, the first thing they're going to do is look for the husband, look for the spouse. Who was she dating? Who has something to benefit the children? Who's on the will? They're going to look the closest place first. If someone's killed in New York, they're not running to McDonald's down in Memphis looking for a homeless person that's a killer. It doesn't work like that. You work from the inside out. So to the young lady that's claiming that Christian baptism came from Egypt, you don't have a clear understanding that there's some things that can rise up independently. We can just look at certain things like sign language. Where does sign language come from? If I was just a crazy Christian stuck in the book, I can go to Luke, the second chapter, when Zechariah, the angel, came to him and he didn't believe. He was mute for a season and he beckoned to people with his hands. He beckoned to people to come and he tried to explain to them what happened. I can call that sign language. Then we have signs of sign language back in Greece, different places in Europe. Helen Keller and different people up here. So we have different places where sign language developed and to show how they developed independently in certain places. We have pictorial prior to the Metuneta, prior to the cuneiform. We have images. We see that people were dealing with signs and symbols back in the very beginning. So things can't come up independently. But if I'm going to look at anything, I'm just not running to Egypt for everything. First of all, for the record, Egypt is not the beginning. Egypt didn't look at themselves as the beginning. So that's one thing that we have to straighten out. And when we start dealing with baptism, I would first look to the closest place. Christianity stems from the belief of the Hebrew Israelites in the Torah. That's where Christianity, the people that were known as Jews, that's where Christianity originated from. The first Christians were Israelites. That's where it originated from. So the first place I would look at is the mikvah, the ritualistic baths. I would study Qumran and the Dead Sea's scrolls that were found there. I would study all of those things before I go jumping hundreds of miles away to Egypt. All over the world, people's been dealing with water and spirituality and some type of sacred baths or things of that nature. So we have to be careful when we're doing certain things. We have to be careful when we're dealing with research and stuff like that and know what we're talking about. Stop just jumping to conclusions. That's one thing when you're dealing with scholarship, you just don't jump to conclusions. My name is Brother Berean. If you like what you heard, subscribe. Thanks for watching.